Okay, hello Jasmine, hello Esther again. Jasmine, I'm quite happy that you are joining in the level 3 econs class, so well done, keep it up. Might as well, right? Let's wait for everyone else to come. Hi Yixuan, hello Zach. Yes, hello Chloe, hello Ryan, where's everyone else? Esther, I like your little airline joke there, or aviation joke. Ha ha. Da, da, da. Hello Ryan, hello Guo Han. Well, apparently Guo Han is now French, but okay. It always takes a while for people to log in, so just bear with them. Is everyone here? I still only have 6 people watching. Who's missing? Where are the Law Brothers? Yeah, Jasmine, let me know who else is missing from this class. Chloe is here. Okay, Ryan, Kohan, Omar, Adam. Well, Adam doesn't take business, but ay. Shall we just begin then? Okay, tell you what, if the others, it's 5 minutes in. If the others are late, too bad then. Okay, let's go ahead and begin today's class. All right, hello everyone. So thank you for being on time. So this is business studies. Today we're gonna start a new chapter, chapter 5, business objectives and stakeholder objectives. I trust that. Oh, hello, Sean. Welcome, just in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 of you now. All right, so welcome, and today we're going to start a new chapter, chapter 5, okay? Business objectives, as you can see in the text below, business objectives and stakeholder objectives. Now, firstly, let's go through some definitions. Okay, well, we all know what a business is. Pop quiz, and this will be worth one more Kit Kat. I don't know, Ryan. Ryan, give me an update on what the Kit Kat count is now. I know Ishan's got the most, but I think it's like 3 or whatever. Yeah, so Ryan, give me an update on the Kit Kat count. Now, someone else, anyone, if you guys want the chance for another Kit Kat, give me your best definition of what a business is. Okay, what is the definition of a business? Okay, I mean, you can even say, you can just answer the question, what is a business, or what does it do? Okay, very simple. See if you can get that. All right, I'll be waiting for your answers. What is the business, or what does it do? Give me your definition. Okay. While I'm waiting for this, thank you, Ryan, for that update. Okay. So again, waiting for your definitions of what is the business, or what does it do? I mean, after all, this is business studies, so yeah. Let's see what kind of definitions you guys are giving me. Esther, nice try, but no, that's not a good enough definition. I mean, what does it do, right? Because we mentioned last week there are some businesses that don't chase after profits, and we'll get into some of these objectives later. But what is a business? Zach Wu says a person's regular occupation, professional trade. No, that's a job. So Zach, you had just given the definition for a job. Okay, that is not the definition of a business. Okay, I mean, I've got two jobs, two full-time jobs, but these are not, I'm not running them as a business, it's a job, right? So there's a difference there. Well, Guohan, sorry, then you just have to ask your parents to bridge that digital divide, right? Get you high-speed internet access. Oh, Ryan, business combines success production to make products which satisfy people. Well done. All right, so Ryan got another Kit Kat. So the Kit Kat count now is Yi Xuan 3, Sean, Jasmine, Thomas, and Ryan 1. Okay, so again, the Kit Kat count is Yi Xuan 3, Sean, Jasmine, Thomas, and Ryan each get 1. So yes, that's a great definition. Okay. Well, Ryan's one is the first one. So a business that it combines factors of production to make products which satisfy people's wants or needs. Well, you left out needs, but it's okay. And it can be services as well, okay? Not just make products. Let me just go through the rest here. Yi Xuan says an organization. Okay, yeah. So Yi Xuan, yeah, it'd be more an organization, but not an economic system, okay? But yeah, so Sean sells, okay, yeah, well, but that's not good enough, because let's say if they just trade, or, well, I guess they'd be selling, yeah, but there's more to it, okay, so that's an incomplete definition there, Sean, but good try. No, Esther, you are, I don't care about physical appearances, so it doesn't matter, but still enjoy the Kit Kats as and when they come. Chloe says that I miss hers. Where's your definition? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, Chloe. Alright, fine. So, Ryan, I'm sorry. Chloe gets it then. So, the Kit Kat count is Yi Xuan 3, Sean, Jasmine, Thomas, and Chloe 1. Okay. Sorry. And we can blame this on Sinru because Sinru said hi out of nowhere. So, that just kind of pushed everything down. So, I just scrolled I saw the last hi and then went from there. So sorry, Ryan, you can blame Sinru. Chloe gets the Kit Kat instead. Okay, so very good. All right, Sinru. Oof. Okay. Oh, wow. So you guys are a lot more responsive than level 3, and I'm sure Sinru and Jasmine can attest to this. Level 3 is like too cool for school. All right. Okay. All right. So good job, Chloe. All right. So you guys got the Kit Kat. Okay. So good. Now let's talk about the objectives. Okay. Now, what is the definition for business objective? I'm going to pull this up on the screen, and you have it in your textbooks. It's on page 51. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here now. All right, so business objectives are the aims or targets that a business works towards. Sorry, singular. Just really hard to say. A business works towards. All of you, say it at home fast 5 times. See if your parents don't think, yeah, you're crazy. A business works towards. 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 Yeah, that's a bit tough to say. Okay, all right. So that's what a business objective is. Okay. Now let's talk about why businesses have objectives. I mean, why why don't they just open a business and just do whatever they want now, right? Okay, so here are some simple reasons why you need to have business objectives. I'm going to pull them up on the screen here and take this one out so you can see all 4. Okay, so now these are all listed on page 51. Okay, so before we get to what kind of business objectives they are, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with the what later. Okay, now this is the why. Why do you need business objectives? So here are 4 reasons mentioned on page 51. Okay, so firstly, you got a motivation. Okay, so fine, you can argue that the motivation for employees is to just get their paycheck, and for the employers or the business owners, it's just to get money, right? But I mean, that's too broad. Okay, let's study it a bit more. Okay, so motivation means, it gives you the reason for doing what you do. Okay, so the business objectives, which we'll go through later, okay, they give the business and its employees and the employer and all the stakeholders a reason for doing what they do. Okay, be it even the customer, right? If they know the business objective is like this, a certain thing, then they might be more willing to buy the goods and services from that business. Okay, or that objective is why the business is set up to begin with by the employer or the business owner, or that objective is why the employee chose to work for that company. Okay, so it motivates people. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why you need business objectives. Second is unity. So when you have that objective, that goal, so everybody knows why they're doing it, right? The motivation, and then so they can be united, as opposed to employees want to kind of do their own thing, and the bosses or business owners want to do their own thing, or the employees want a different thing, right? So so it gives them unity. Okay, I'll give you an example. So last time I used to work for a radio station, right? And the radio station here in Malaysia positioned itself as the #1 business talk radio station in Malaysia. All right, so that's that's an identity, right? But it's from this objective that unites the employees, right? Like me, or like I was, and the business owners as well. So the shareholders know they're pumping in money. Why? To make this business the #1 business talk radio station in Malaysia. Right? So that's the goal, that's the objective. Right? And then when we lend our services to it, we know what we're signing up for. As opposed to, let's say that goal wasn't there, it's just a radio station, right? The shareholders or the business owners might say, oh, we want to have the #1 business radio station in Malaysia. But then I walk in there and like, you know what? I like sports. I like football. I'm just going to talk about Manchester United the whole time, right? So without the objective, without a stated objective, there's no unity. Okay, so that's why it's important that we have these objectives. So obviously at VisiTutor, we have this objective of the stated goal of delivering academic success, right? And we focus on the academics. So that's why employees who join us, they don't, we don't worry about the extracurricular stuff. We don't have arts, we don't have music, don't have sports, right? Because we give you time to pursue that on your own. That's why level 3, you only have 4 days of classes. Level 2, you get 4.5 days of classes, right? Minimal homework from me. All you do is just got to read. Your classes end by 3. So that gives you time to go and do your swimming classes, your dance classes, which many of you do, your wushu classes, music classes, right? Piano, drums, whatever. Do that after 3 p.m. On weekdays, on the weekends, or after 12 p.m. on Friday. right? So got plenty of time to do these extracurricular activities. So this unifies you guys as customers, clients, we as employees, and of course the business owner as well, okay? And then like I mentioned, so when you have these objectives, it helps everybody plan and make decisions better, right? Because we know VisiTutor wants to deliver academic success, right? Will we even entertain the idea, oh, we are going to have a horse riding team? No, right? Or we're going to start a swim team? No, right? Why? Because that's outside of our stated goal, okay? But top in the world class, you got remedial classes, right? It's all built around your academics, okay? And then last but not least, why do we have these goals? Why do businesses have these objectives? To measure your success, right? So, well, you guys know at VisiTutor, we often strive every year to have one top in the world or one top in Malaysia. And for most years, at least since 2009, 10, you know, we have been doing quite okay on that front, right? Every other year we get a top in the world or top in Malaysia. But from a personal level, you know that you have your goals or your objectives, right? How many A's? 9 A's, 10 A's, whatever it is. A stars, right? So if you don't have those stated goals, then you don't know. Then you might get 5 C's and you're like, oh yes, I succeeded. Well, really? Did you? Right? Yeah, you got enough credits to get into college, but is it at the top tier to get a scholarship, for example, right? So there are all these measurable goals that not just you have as a student, but businesses have as well, okay? So that they can measure their success. So for example, they say, okay, by next year, we want to sell 2 million ringgit worth of remote controls, whatever, okay? So if they set that goal, and then they can measure whether they achieve it, as opposed to without having a goal, then by the next year they only realize they only sold 500,000 ringgit worth of remote controls. Well, is that a success or failure? I don't know, right? Why? Because there's no stated objective. Okay, so it's good to know why they have these objectives. Okay, just let me know in the comments that you understand this section here, why the need for business objectives. They are all on pages 51 as well. Okay, after that we'll go into the what's. Where did my mouse go? So let me know in the comments first whether you understood this part. Okay, just say I understand the need for business objectives. Okay, or just I understand, it's fine, so we can move on. Hello? Oh, waiting for the comments. I know for Koan it'll be a bit laggy, but I still want to make sure that you guys are listening, watching, and responding. All right. All right, Ishan understands, Sindhu understands, okay, that's 2. Anyone else? I guess those 2 have the fastest internet speeds. Okay, Ryan understands, Chloe, okay, Sean, Zach, Jasmine, where's Esther? Okay, otherwise, that's Kohan understands. Esther, you still there? Or did she fall asleep? All right, anyways, we are moving on. Okay, so let's take this out. All right, so let's go to this. Okay, so business objectives. Okay, so these are listed on page 51. Okay, so what are these business objectives? Just now we spoke about the why. Now, let me just add to this. What are some? This laptop is not very responsive. What are some business objectives? Question mark. Okay, so first one, survival. Okay, let me make this into a quiz. Hold on. Okay, let me go through these and then we'll see what the answers are. Okay, so what are some business objectives? Okay, now all these are valid, but I'll ask you a question later. Okay, first one is survival. So obviously when you set up a business, you want to make sure that it can survive, it can keep operating for as long as you can, right? So that is very much a primary objective, okay? And this is where new businesses, they tend to focus on survival a lot more. Why? Because they're still new, they don't know whether they can compete against other businesses or not. Sorry, give me 1 second, just read what's on your screen, okay? Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had what I thought was going to be an important phone call. Okay, so first one, survival. So new businesses, they tend to focus on that one quite a bit because they're still new to the industry. They don't know whether they can last through the economic cycles, and we'll study that later in level 3 econs. They don't know if they got enough or their products or services are good enough to compete against their competitors. Okay. All right, then second one is profit. Okay, so now this is an interesting one, okay, because profit, I'm going to pull up the definition here. So this is the definition of profit. Okay, profit is total income of a business, that's revenue, money coming in, income, less or minus total costs. Okay, so that's the definition of profit. So know this, I make a note somewhere, very, very important. Many students tend to get this confused when they're studying this now. Profit is not the same as revenue. Let me repeat. Profit is not the same as income, okay? Because you got your income, money that's coming in because you sell your goods and services, but you still got to minus your total costs, what you spend on electricity, your rental, insurance, your wages for your employees, all that stuff. Okay, after you take income, then you minus your total cost, then only do you get profit. Okay, so profit is not the same as revenue. Okay, so in fact, many new businesses, when they first start off, they're not thinking of profit. Okay, they're just thinking about survival or having some other objective. Okay, why? Because they just want to try it out first, and it might take years before they can actually turn a profit, whereby the money that they get in actually offsets their total costs, right? Because the cost when you're starting up a business at the start is quite high. Say you need to build a new building or a new factory, right? That's going to cost millions, right off the bat. You're not going to sell millions worth of products or goods or services on the first day. Right? It might take years for you to get to sell millions, right? So know the difference, yeah? Profit is not the same as revenue or income, okay? So so as a business starts up, firstly it's survival, then over time it's profit. So I'll give an example. So companies like Uber, like Grab, guess what? Even though they've been around for a long time, they are not profitable yet. Again, I repeat, they are not net profitable yet. Okay, so then you take the total income minus all the total costs, they still do not get a profit yet. Okay, even though they've been around for a long time. So that's an example of how some businesses, even though they've been around for a long time, they are not profitable. Netflix is another one, right? Even though they've been around for a long time, not profitable yet. At least I think. All right. Returns to shareholders. Now, this is where after you churn out a profit, then you can start thinking about giving some money to your shareholders. Okay. Now, just now we wrote there, profit is not the same as revenue. So now, make a note, shareholders are not the same as stakeholders. Okay. You must know the difference. Okay. Shareholders, and I believe I've explained this in class before, but I'll explain it again. Shareholders actually directly own a piece of that company. Okay, they own a share, right, a portion, a small percentage, or could be like 0.0001%, but they still own a piece of that company. Okay, those are shareholders. Stakeholders, we have done this before. Let's do this again. Oh, what's my definition for stakeholder? Anyways, stakeholder. Oh, did I not send it over? No, this is from social. Hold on, let me try and pull this up. There we go. A stakeholder, okay, is any person or group with a direct interest in the performance and activities of a business. Okay, remember this, very, very important. So stakeholders can include employees, can include customers, right? You are stakeholders of VisiTutor. Right? If we don't do these online classes, if we don't perform, you will suffer, right? Or you will have to bear the consequences, right? But are you a shareholder in VisiTutor? No. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay, so put another way, this was all all shareholders are stakeholders in VisiTutor. Okay, but not all stakeholders are shareholders in VisiTutor. Okay, so you guys got to know this. Okay, know the difference, yeah? All shareholders are stakeholders in VisiTutor, but not all stakeholders are shareholders in VisiTutor. Or it can be just any business, really. Oh, what happened there? Okay, all right, so know this. So yeah, now return to shareholders often come in the form of dividends. You can make a note of this, okay? So here's what happens. After, you survive for a while, then you're able to achieve profits. Well, guess what? Then you can start paying a portion, some of your profits, and give it as returns to shareholders, okay? And these are called dividends, okay? So you can make this, make a note on the side there. Shareholders are often the ones who get paid last, okay? Who gets paid first? Employees or creditors, okay? People you owe money to, okay? They are the ones who get paid first, and that's why there's less risk, right? Then after you turn a profit, then you might get some and use some of those profits to give back to shareholders, okay? Basically, dividends are a way of saying thank you, shareholders, for investing money in my company. So here, you get a share of some of the profits as well. You get to share in the profits, okay? Shareholders, they share in the company's fortunes, okay? All right, so that's survival, profit, returns to shareholders. Now let's talk about growth, okay? So again, companies like Grab, Netflix, right? They focus not just on survival, but they're all about growth right now. And these two are kind of intertwined, okay? I'll tell you the difference in just a bit. But they might forsake profit right now, which they are. Again, companies like Netflix and Grab and Uber. And definitely the shareholders are not getting any money back right now. Why? They can't, because they don't even have profits, right? But the company is all about not just survival. They're going to survive. They have moved past that. But now they're about growing, okay? Making sure that company grows and grows and grows and grows. Okay, now there are several ways you can measure growth. Okay, we studied this before. This was in chapter 2, I believe. Right? Remember we talked about internal expansion, external expansion. You can measure business by number of people employed, value of output, value of sales, value of capital employed, right? Page 26 in the textbooks. So we studied that before. Okay, so that's growth. Okay? Now, market share is different, whereby market share is that company's sales as a proportion of the entire industry. Okay, I have the definition here somewhere. I'm going to pull it up. So I think it's here. This one. Okay, so this is the definition of market share. Okay, so if let's say you know, let's talk about, say, remote controls again. Okay, pull this up. Let's see if we can still see while we do this. So this is A, B, B. Okay, all right. So let's see if we can still do this. Okay, so let's say the total value of sales in the market is, we're talking about remote controls. Okay, because it's the first thing I can find here on my desk. $100 million. Okay, of remote controls. Actually, no one really sells remote controls, so let's use a better example. Okay, wireless mice. I won't show the brand, but yeah, okay, wireless mice, right, like this. Can you guys see? Okay, wireless mice. Let's say the value of every single wireless mouse that's sold in the market in 1 year is $100 million US. Okay, that's a lot of wireless mice, and let's say it is. Okay. And company A, whose logo I've hidden here, sold $20 million worth of wireless mice in that 1 year. Okay, so that means the company A's market share is 20%. Okay, how do we calculate it? You just use the formula on this side, right? The one highlighted. So market share is the company sales divided by the total market sales times 100, then you get the percentage. So it's 20%. Okay. Now, so remember, if you guys need a visual of what a market share is, right? You just got to think of a pie chart, right? I can just pull this up for you. Let's click on images. All right, but there we go. See, when you think of market share, you just think of pie chart. Okay, these are all the different companies, right? All pie chart. Okay, let's see what is Coca-Cola's market share. Oh, whoa, 43.3%. Really? Wow, that's huge. And it's not just Coke alone, because under Coke they got many different brands. So under the whole company, all of their in the last decade, so Coke alone, the brand, is about 17%. Pepsi has gone from 10 to 4, lower. Well, maybe. But I think with their other brands, that's earning per share. Yeah, well, Coca-Cola brands, let's just see. There are many different brands. Fanta is under Coca-Cola, Sprite, Dasani, that's the water, Powerade, Minute Maid, all those juices. All that stuff. Okay, yeah, there we go. Brands and products for Coca-Cola. You guys see all that. Okay, so I'm sure the different products has got different market share. Well, but based on Sprite, Fanta, Schweppes is under them. Oh, what else? Schweppes. Show more. Oh, okay. Oh, root beer and Fresca. Yeah, okay. So these are all. They've all got over 500 brands worldwide, 800 different kinds of drinks in over 200 countries for over 130 years. Okay. All right, these are some of their brands. Oh, Costa is them as well. I didn't know that. Okay, we have got Costa coffee in some of the Shell stations and supermarkets here in Malaysia, right? Tea, okay, all that stuff. Anyways, okay, so you calculate, if let's say we want to calculate, say, Coca-Cola's market share, right? We use the same formula. So we find what is the total sales of all the soft drinks, cola in the market, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever, okay? And then you take Coca-Cola sales only. Okay, so you divide the company sales, Coca-Cola, divided by the total sales of all the soda drinks that are sold in the market, and divide that times 100, then you get the market share. Okay, so now this is one example of a business objective that many businesses, including startups like Grab, Uber, Netflix, right? Netflix, they want to fight with Disney Plus, and all these other streaming platforms, right? So many of these businesses, they might say, okay, at least after they start up, we want to survive and we want to grow market share. Okay, so forget about profit, forget about hiring more people. We want to focus on market share right now. Okay, so it's a very popular objective. Now, why is increasing market share a good objective, or why is it desirable? Okay, first one, you got good publicity. Okay, you can see there the first arrow right here. Okay, good publicity, because you can say that you're the most popular. Okay, now those of you taking notes, make a note off to the side. You can write that top of mind. Okay, and this is very, very much sought after. Okay, many businesses want to be top of mind. Okay, here's what it means. If let's say you are thirsty, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Or what is the first thing that comes to mind? Okay, or you're hungry, what is the first restaurant that comes to mind? Or you want a car, what's the first car that comes to mind? Okay, is the first company or first brand that comes to mind, okay, that when it features heavily on the customer's conscience, so you're more likely to go and purchase the good and service, or meet that need or want from using that good or service from that company, right? That's what top of mind does. So say I want to fly to Singapore, right? What is top of mind for me? Well, for me, it'd be AirAsia. Why? Because they're the cheapest flights, and they've got plenty of flights all day long from here to Singapore, right? The flights between KL to Singapore, the route between KL to Singapore is the world's busiest airline route. Okay, so because AirAsia is top of mind, the first thing I think about if I want to fly to Singapore is AirAsia, and like I am much more likelier to go to AirAsia's website first to look at their flight tickets first. Right, before I even consider that, if I even consider other airlines. Okay, so how does top of mind come about? Often it comes about if you have larger market share. Okay, there's a reason Coke is so popular. There's a reason Grab is the first thing that comes to mind if you want ride sharing, or if you want to order online delivery food, as opposed to others like Food Panda or whatever else there is in the market. Okay, so good publicity, bigger market share, good publicity, you get top of mind among customers, the most popular. Okay, now once you get good publicity, okay, you can also have greater influence over suppliers as well. Okay, to be very keen to sell to you or get on your platform. So a good example is Walmart. Walmart is like the Tesco of the US. I know because you're not familiar with it, but Walmart is obviously better than Tesco in my opinion. Walmart kept me alive for many years while I lived in the States. Right? Anything you want, as you can see right there on the screen, okay, this is what Walmart looks like. Anything you want in the Walmart you can find, right? Food, clothing, car spare parts, tires, all kinds, right? So Walmart is this supermarket, right? You can find video games, TVs, electronics, you name it, it's there, right? So Walmart has huge market share. Let's try and find out what Walmart's market share is. And I think they tried opening in China as well. Don't know how successful they are. Let me see. Walmart market share. Now this is their share price. Well, kind of hard to find right off the bat. Wow. Okay. According to this website, in many of these markets, Walmart captures more than half of all grocery store sales in that market. Really? Wow. Really? Wow. Sorry. Let me just leave it on long enough for you guys to see. Okay. According to this, captures over 50% or more of all grocery sales. That's huge, right? I mean, it's 1 out of every 2 items or dollars spent on groceries is spent at Walmart. That's huge. Let me try to find market share. Not share market, yeah, different, yeah. Okay, well, according to this, in that area, I guess in Charlotte or Arkansas, they had about 20% market share, which is still not bad. So 1 out of every $5 spent on groceries is spent at that Walmart. Okay. Anyway, so different markets, obviously different. Anyways, so this is what market share is now. So because if you've got larger market share, right, and so out of every $2 spent on groceries, $1 is spent at your store, right? What do you think they'll do for suppliers, right? If I'm a supplier, let's say I supply vegetables. Do I want to supply to Walmart, or do I want to supply to some of these other smaller grocery stores, right? Like, I'll likely want to supply to Walmart because I know I can sell more vegetables there. But at the same time, Walmart then has a lot of power. They say, hey, if you want to access my customers, where 1 out of every $2 spent in this town on groceries is spent at my store, you have to charge me lower prices. If you don't charge me lower prices, too bad, bye-bye. You go and sell, you supplier, you go and sell to other grocery stores. Right? Then the supplier's like, well, I really want to sell at Walmart because they're the biggest, right? So you might be more inclined to forego your profit margins, maybe earn less profit, just so that you can sell more volume to Walmart, okay? So if Walmart, and Walmart does have larger market share, they can have more influence over the suppliers, okay? Then also, last but not least, you can have also greater influence over your customers, okay? So if, let's say, Walmart, because they're easier to find, they got more options there and their prices are cheaper, right? They can set the prices, right? If you don't like, then you might have to go somewhere else and maybe have a smaller selection, or not as good quality, or higher prices, whatever, okay? So if you got larger market share, you can increase your influence not just on suppliers but on customers as well. So Grab is a good example, right? Grab, when it comes to taking ride sharing in Malaysia, Grab is dominant, right? Now Grab can essentially charge the customers however much they want, right? Depending on PED, price elasticity of demand, right? But if Grab decided that day to charge 1, 2 ringgit more, 5 ringgit more, 10 ringgit more, who knows? And if your demand is price inelastic, you need to take a ride hailing, or you need to catch a ride now, then you have to pay it, right? Because you don't have other alternatives. Why? Because Grab has such a huge market share, if not all of it. Okay, I know Gojek is kind of here, but it's nowhere near as prevalent as Grab. Okay, so that's an example of how, if you've got huge market share, you can have huge influence over your customers. Okay. All right. I hope I'm not going too fast. Tell you what, 12:45. Let me just finish this real quick. And then last but not least, we got service to the community. So remember, I mentioned last week, or during our last lesson, we talk about social enterprises. That's covered somewhat in chapter 4 as well. Let's go through the definition again. A social enterprise is a company that has social objectives. I mean, it's got an aim to make a profit, but then it reinvests back into the business, and it wants to take care of its members, take care of its members of its community. Okay, so the example I gave last week, remember, was my friend who started up the company that makes tea bags, right? They import the tea from, I think, India and Sri Lanka, but she then hires employees who are either mentally challenged, or they've got other learning difficulties, so they cannot operate in a normal company. They cannot work in a normal environment, or in a normal working environment, so they work for her. Right, and then whatever profits that she gets, which is very little, and the revenue that she gets, she uses it to then pay her staff and make sure that these people are not marginalized, that they still have purpose in that society, right? So these are the roles of some social enterprises. They have social objectives as well as trying to make a profit, so that they can use the profit to reinvest back into the business. And it's not about profit for the shareholders and all that, okay? So those are some of the business objectives, okay? Now, before we end, let's end with one quiz question. So the question for today is, okay, out of these 6 business objectives, which do you think is the most important objective for businesses in Malaysia right now, today? Okay, again, out of these 6 business objectives on the left here, A, B, C, D, E, F, or on my right rather, which do you think is the most important business objective for businesses in Malaysia right now, today, April 14th, 2020, amid the coronavirus? Okay, let me know your answers. And then once we're done with this, let me know if you understand today's, or if you understood today's lesson. Let me know in the comments, and then you can say bye-bye. Okay? What do you think the answer is? A, B, C, D, E, F. Which do you think is the most important business objective here in Malaysia, right now, today, on April 14th, 2020, amid the lockdown measures and a bid to flatten the curve, right, to limit the number or the growth of coronavirus positive cases in Malaysia. Okay. So with this economic lockdown, or rather MCO, movement control order, many people cannot frequent the businesses that they are used to, cannot use many of the goods and services that they're used to. So many businesses have one primary objective in mind right now. What do you think it is? Okay, let me know in the comments. So slow. Wow. Is the broadcast that laggy? Am I missing something? Is there a reason why the comments are not coming through? No. Internet seems to be working fine. What do you think the answer is? You guys have to write in the comments. A, B, C, D, E, or F. Okay, so we got a few, right? So Ryan says A, Esther D, survival, okay, D, A. So the mixture between A and D, okay. Sinru F. Interesting. Okay. Well, so okay, so the answer is A. Okay, so it's very much about survival right now. Now, if you can, some interesting answers there. Well, D, not so much. Okay, right now it's not about growth. Okay, right now it's just about staying alive if you can. Many businesses are having to decide: do I close my business and lay off my employees, or do I try to survive somehow? Okay, and how do I survive? Do I borrow money Do I borrow money from the bank? Do I get help from the government? Do I ask my shareholders for more money? How do I stay alive? Right. So it's very much about survival right now. Interesting that Sinru said F, service to the community, and that's interesting. But I think that's predicated on survival. Now, if you can survive and you got extra money that you can, after paying your employees and make sure that they are taken care of, you can forego, say, getting income by giving your services for free, right? So we see many telco companies giving data for free. We see restaurants giving food, donating food and cooked meals to doctors, nurses in the hospitals. If you haven't seen this, Google this, okay? Get out of, I know you're stuck at home, but Google this, see what's happening out there in the real world, okay? This is a great chance to learn about economics, about business studies, about sociology, what's happening in the real world, okay? So there are many businesses that are doing that. My sister's company, catering company, is working with an NGO, that's a non-profit organization or non-government organization, to deliver food at minimal cost to hospitals, right? So that these doctors and nurses and hospital staff are working so hard, they don't have to think about food. They know they got food there, it's all prepared, they can just eat and then keep working, or take a rest, right? So yes, it is an increasing objective for businesses, but that is predicated on whether or not this business can even survive to begin with, okay? So I would say the answer is A, okay? All right, so that's it. With that said, thank you very much, okay? If you've got any more questions, ask me in the comments. Esther saying, you keep on talking so I cannot decide, and I think that's fair for me to say. Is that about me, or is that about someone else? I'm not sure who you're referring to, Esther, but okay, bye. Sean says, we did. Again, you got to be more specific. What did you do? Kohan, I don't know what the comment means. Okay, so if there are no questions, you can just say, I understood today's lesson. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And we just leave it at that. And there'll be today's lesson. Okay. Otherwise, I'll leave it on for 1 more minute or about 30 seconds more. And we'll be done with, we'll be ending here very soon. Yep. Okay, thank you, Sinru. Okay, thank you, Kohan. Thank you, Jasmine. Bye Chloe, bye Sean, bye Ryan. Well, more importantly, did you guys understand today's lesson? Okay, Kohan, Chloe, Sean, Ryan, did you guys understand today's lesson? Jasmine, did you understand today's lesson? Okay, no questions. All right, we'll end it today then. Thank you very much. Stay safe. See you guys tomorrow.